With demonstrations in Washington this week, opposition to amnesty for millions of illegal aliens and to corporate America's call for open borders, all of this being brought to the front door of Congress with a different perspective. Joining me now with far more on this critical issue is Professor Carol Swain. She's Professor of Law and Political Science at Vanderbilt University, and Professor Swain is also the author of an important new book, Debating Immigration. Professor, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
You know, among the things you say in the book, you talk about neglected voices and issues in the national discussion. What do you mean by neglected voices?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed about the immigration debate is that the views of some Protestant Christians that have reservations, they're concerned about the impact that immigration is having on Native workers, Americans that they see, members of their congregation, that too often these individuals have been silenced by name-calling. So there is a viewpoint that I believe is a biblical Christian viewpoint that is not part of the discussion. That's in the book.
That's one of the chapters that's addressed, the viewpoint, if you will, a Protestant view, as well as the Catholic view, which is typically the religious view that dominates the illegal immigration debate and dialogue in this country. You also say that African Americans are not being adequately represented in this debate. Yes.
How many African American leaders have you seen come out and address the impact that high levels of illegal immigration is having in the communities when it comes to jobs, when it comes to education, when it comes to health care? And often these low-skill, low-wage workers, they compete in the same sectors for jobs. And so one of the things I try to do in the volume is to bring that perspective forward, as well as the fact that the public has expressed views for a long time that are not being represented by politicians.
It's one of the things that we have focused on this broadcast, as you know, Professor. The idea in this country, I mean, when we hear a report like Governor Gavin Newsom in San Francisco declaring that his country, it's almost a country, a separate nation, that his city will be a sanctuary city in violation of federal law. When poll after poll shows that Americans, by a large majority, support strong border security. And we're all ignored in this country, it seems, by our ruling elites. I mean, there is a consequence for this at some point, isn't there?
I hope that the consequence will be that the American people will arm themselves and hold our politicians accountable, because right now the politicians are beholden to big business and to their lobbyists, and they're not represent the views of the American people, and that's something that has to change.
Right. As you pull together all of these competing and conflicting views for this very important book, Debating Immigration, did it come out pretty much the way you thought, or were there some surprises?
I don't think there were surprises. One of the things I've done in this collection is to bring together a number of views. There are people that support expanding immigration, as well as those that say, wait a minute, this is having a negative impact on certain sectors of American society, especially the low-wage, low-skilled workers that are really being harmed. And there are not enough voices, in my opinion, that are speaking out on behalf of these people.
Professor Carol Swain, we thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. The book is Debating Immigration. It'll be on bookshelves beginning next Monday. It's a very important read. Everyone from Peter Brimelow to Nathan Glazer, disparate, competing voices, and importantly, voices that are heard.
Thank you so much.
Important new book. Thank you very much. Professor Carol Swain.